The following is an exclusive presentation of the Carolina Panthers and the National Football League.
Training camp was hot this week as the heat index hit 115 degrees. The intensity thermometer was also in the red as the Buffalo Bills visited Camp Wofford for 2 days of work. A pair of rookies shined last Thursday night in Chicago as top draft pick Brian Burns and undrafted free agent Elijah Holyfield helped secure a Panther win. Game 2 from Bank of America Stadium is next. From all over they stream in. Panther fans coming to this beautiful arena to see the stars that'll be out tonight, like McCaffrey, Cameron Artis-Payne, QB1, and others. It's the anticipated second preseason game, the Buffalo Bills at the Carolina Panthers. Good evening, welcome in. I'm Mick Mixon. We're looking forward to having you with us. Well, Proverbs 27:17 states that just as iron sharpens iron, so one man can sharpen another. For a couple of days this week, the Panthers and their Buffalo brothers to the north have been grinding on each other, each looking to hone the razor-sharp edge of a champion. Tonight from Bank of America Stadium, that ancient process plays out in modern form with preseason game number 2. Joint practices, Mike, can offer up a lot of good work for both clubs. They can also be diagnostic. What do you think Ron Rivera is learning about his team?
Well, there was a lot of energy this week with the guys, but the one thing Coach Rivera likes is he has the whistle. He can control the snaps, he can get his bigs on bigs, his one-on-ones, and he can control practice without getting guys hurt. Christian
McCaffrey showed well against a good Buffalo defense. What can the 22 bring to this offense this year?
Well, he was a workhorse last year, playing over 90% of the snaps. It's a guy that can catch the ball and can run the ball. Caught 107 passes last year like a receiver, but then over 1,000 yards rushing also.
Can definitely make magic after the catch too. Mike, this Panther front seven has generated some local love, also created national attention. How good could this unit be?
They could be really good up front, especially that front seven. When you add Bruce Irvin, the guy that's played in 2 Super Bowls, won 1. He's a veteran, but he brings a lot of energy, brings a little bit of nastiness to this defense, and I think that that'll bode well for this defense this upcoming season.
No doubt. When he comes off the edge, he is mad at it. Carolina flavor to this one, too. That's Sean McDermott on the right. Coach Rivera's former defensive coordinator, Captain Munnerlyn, has also joined the fray. Stay tuned. It's preseason game number 2, Buffalo at Carolina, next.
Carolina Panthers football is being brought to you by Bank of America, official bank of the Carolina Panthers. By Coke, official soft drink of the Carolina Panthers. By NFL Ticket Exchange, the only official ticket exchange of the NFL. Get Ticketmaster verified tickets at ticketmaster.com/Panthers. And by Bojangles. It's bow time at Bojangles. Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits is the official tailgating headquarters and iced tea of the Carolina Panthers.
Beautiful uptown Charlotte, home of Bank of America Stadium, home of the Carolina Panthers of the National Football League. Caroline Can anchors our Gatorade Heard Around the Cooler sideline reports. What do you got, Cece?
Thanks, Mick. Well, we saw Cam Newton warm up, but it's actually going to be Kyle Allen who is going to get the start tonight. Now, Allen is one of 3 players on this Panther roster who has been followed very closely during this training camp for a feature on Panthers.com called Fight for the 53. Allen, Elijah Holyfield, and Ross Cockrell have given an all-access pass to their journey to make this final roster later this month. And for Kyle, he gets another opportunity tonight. We spoke to Ron Rivera, who said he was happy with Allen's composure for preseason week 1, but that he wants to see him take the next step and get through his reads more smoothly. Well, he gets to do that tonight with the help from some starters. We expect to see Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore back on the field for their debut this preseason.
He had a lot of poise that he did show Caroline last week at Chicago. Be looking to take that to another level as you articulate. Beautiful night for football. I mean, perfect. Our park's heating and cooling game time weather. There you see the temperature, 89. A few puffy clouds of fair weather up overhead, but for the most part, the track will be fast and dry. Andre Roberts from out of the Citadel, waiting at the goal line. Sly has it teed up. His approach, and we're underway from Bank of America Stadium. Sly has a monster leg like Fred Couples on the driving range. and he carries that football, just boots it right into the stands on the fly. Amazing. So a lot of hopes, dreams, aspirations rest on the shoulders of Joshua David Allen, the 23-year-old, starting quarterback for Buffalo. Pretty sharp in the preseason. Rumors afloat that he's turned a page. Reading coverage is better now, taking the football to the right place in the passing game. Bills run game pretty squared away. Shady McCoy, the lone setback. Great look at that 5-man front. The Panthers 3-4. Short range to Beasley, 4 or 5 yards. Trey Boston touched him down. It's about a 3-year process growing that much hair for Trey Boston, and I don't think he's done quite yet.
Yeah, that is long. You can't even see the numbers on it.
A lot more regulars tonight for the Panthers. It's that time. 4 set to rush in. Sidearm throw. Bobbled, and then McCoy could not re-catch it. It will be 3rd and 5. Super Mario Addison was in the neighborhood.
Yeah, he had his guy man-to-man, and you're going to see more of guys like Mario and Brian Burns carrying some receivers across and in coverage than you've seen in the past.
Josh Allen alone in the shotgun. 3-by-2 receivers. Panthers showing some zone. Pre-snap. Easy pitch and catch as Beasley works the middle of the field again. 9 yards and a first down.
You know, Buffalo's come out and they've been throwing the ball right here, just the in route on Carter right there. And this is something that should be playing into this defensive hand as far as about getting after the quarterback. You've got 3 passes. You kind of know what the Buffalo Bills are trying to do coming out throwing the ball.
Saw Allen's numbers last year. He also had 8 fumbles, 8 rushing touchdowns. He can go good play, bad play, but he is talented. McCoy probing left side, gets whacked after a loss of 1.
See the first run play of the game right here, nowhere to go. And that's one of the things that you want to watch in this 3-4 defense. How do they play the run? Because if you stop the run, then you can make an offense one-dimensional, and you know that they're going to throw the ball.
Elder in, Poe out. Passing personnel grouping and a passing situation. From a clean pocket. McCoy shifty and got close to the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1.
You'll see running McCoy just chips Mario Addison, but you got to make the tackle right here. Number 50 Andre Smith, he gets him tangled up, but he doesn't bring him down. Those are the little plays that you got to get a guy down.
3rd down and 1. Got the first down right up in there with tackle being made by Jermaine Carter. Shady McCoy from out of Pittsburgh. He's been in the league a while, 11 years. Coach Rivera surrounded by his staff. McCoy out. Devin Singletary in, Buffalo's 3rd round draft choice. And he is a load. 2-time NFL Coach of the Year, Ron Rivera. Buffalo right at midfield. Split in left flanker right. Lovely. Sweeney just had to reach out and corral it. Ball was right there.
You're going to see the pass rush right here, but just Allen just has time to throw the ball, and he puts it in the right spot where only his big tight end can catch that ball to the outside.
22 yards, just a flick of the wrist from Allen, and he had a nice touch on it. Singletary remains in. Allen just killed that play, seen enough. It was Kyle Love up in his grill.
You know, number 98, Marquise Haynes, was the initial guy that got in there to force Allen out of the pocket. He's a guy that had a really good game up in Chicago last week, trying to work on getting and building on his game.
There's Marquise, and you saw Kyle Love, the Love train, a little bit earlier. Productive player all last year, even though the defense struggled at times. Beasley, the motion man, they screen to him. 25-20. Thumped at the 19. Right at the line of game, we'll see. Buffalo's hoping Beasley stands 5'8" out of SMU. They're hoping he's their Amendola, their Edelman type guy.
Yeah, he's a quick little guy in the slot, but the Buffalo Bills are operating their offense just like the way they want. They mix it up with a couple of runs here, but they've been throwing the ball really well in this first drive.
Red zone stats courtesy of CPI. Protection you can count on, conveniences that you will love. Panthers not as good in the red zone, looking for much closer to 50% touchdown percentage. Nobody home. Allen has to take it up the middle, and then he's yanked down. That's a coverage type of sack, would you say, Russ?
It was. The secondary did a nice job of being on their man. Josh Allen had nowhere to go and then was flushed out by Mario Addison. You'll see Mario Addison to the right of your screen putting the pressure on Josh Allen right there, and then everybody convenes on Josh Allen.
Just happened to be looking at the secondary when the route tree unfolded, and there was a white jersey running with every eligible receiver. Good defense. No score, second down. Allen 5 of 7 so far in the passing game. And a timeout. So we'll stay right here at Bank of America Stadium as Eric Washington, the D coordinator, and Coach Ron Rivera get together. Let's throw it down to Caroline Cann, our sideline reporter. CC.
Yeah, you're seeing Luke Kuechly walk out there and talk to the linebackers. Carter and Smith getting the start tonight. We actually asked Eric Washington, how has it been with Ron Rivera getting the play calls in to linebackers that are not your starters? And he said they did flawless last week, getting it in quickly. But I wonder if that's a little bit here where they're letting the ball move, trying to get who guys they haven't worked with in a game, that defensive line, the starters lined up correctly and ready to go.
Kuechly, one of the great tacticians, one of the great students of this academic game, pro football. Bill spread it out, second down. Allen pumps, now goes short and middle to Beasley. Carter jumped on his back. 5 yards. Say it a lot, we use the word great, but Kuechly, there's so many times you see him late. You see his car here late, just watching that extra game or two to try to figure out where the significant action will be in the next game.
He puts the time in, and he's the quarterback of this defense. A lot of times he'll yell the play out for the guys up front before the play's even drawn up.
Third down. Allen looking left. Pocket evaporates. And he'll be tackled short of the first down by Bruce Irvin.
And number 99, KK Kawan short, bringing some pressure, moving the quarterback Josh Allen off of his spot. You'll see, just moving it, just throws the guy out of the way. Lets Bruce Irvin, who we talked about at the top of the hour, come in and cleans it up.
Hauschka from 30. Right between the two hash marks. Former Seahawk, NC State product. Good. So Josh Allen engineers a drive. They get on down the field, but the Panthers stop him in the red zone, hold him to a field goal. More Panther football in just a second. 3-0 Buffalo. Closed captioning for the Panthers television network is brought to you by Charlotte Eye, Ear, Nose, and Throat Associates, providing premier eye and ENT care to North and to South Carolina. Everybody wants to see QB1. He will not be playing tonight. Obviously part of a plan, Mike.
It's part of a plan that he's on track. I mean, obviously, his shoulder, he had surgery, is getting stronger. Going into the second preseason game, you've got some good work against the Bills this week.
Artis Payne had a notion. Lets it roll through the end zone for a touchback. So Kyle Allen, last week, decent numbers. How did he look to you?
I felt like he did a really good job of operating the offense last week against the Bears. It felt like he was really in control of the offense. He knew what he was doing, and he was calm and composed. Did a really nice job of working the ball around the field.
Like Carolina reported on the Gatorade Heard Around the Cooler report, it starts with composure. You have to be calm or you can't process. So Allen checks that box. The next level would then be going through his progressions, and if he sees something open, pull the trigger right now.
Correct, and maybe doing it a little bit quicker than he did last week or in practice.
Sprint right option pass. Allen will tuck it and slice right side for 4. Quite a battle for the backup quarterback spot, and last week, who got the better of it?
Well, the snaps are pretty even across the board. Obviously, Kyle Allen started, and Greer came in, started out a little slow, and then really picked up towards the end of his snap. So really, it's been kind of even. I think both guys are progressing well, and I think as a coaching staff, that's what you want to see.
I think he actually had one of the gaudy plays, 20-yard in break on 3rd down and long. Fastball to the 50. Samuel couldn't hang on. Should that have been caught?
Yeah, you had a wide open Curtis Samuel. You see right there, it was low to the outside. So if he puts that ball up into the outside, Curtis Samuel with his speed catches that, turns that up the sideline.
Yeah, so that's on the quarterback.
That's on the quarterback. That was a missed opportunity right there.
Reggie Bonifant in at running back. Here are the Panthers last year, not half bad, upper tier, upper third of the league. On 3rd and 6. Did Oliver get a hand on it? That first-round draft pick he might have. Ball batted down at the line of scrimmage. It's Oliver, 91.
You see Oliver right there, the right defensive tackle with the double team. If you can't get there, coaches teach you to get your hands up, and he was able to knock that ball off down on 3rd down.
3 and out. So it's Pilardi on to punt it. High, lazy, spiral, good directional punt. Roberts at the 28. Back to the far sideline rather, and across midfield. With no flags down, Buffalo will have great field position. Been mostly Buffalo here early on.
They have been moving the ball right here. Colin Jones does a good job of getting down there, slowing up the returner. But guys got to get off blocks.
43-yard punt, 28 on the return. Local break, 3-0 Buffalo. This is your local Panther station.
Hey, do you watch the hands to the face? The guy ripped our center's helmet right off. I mean, what happened was he got stymied at the line of scrimmage. He pushed the guy's helmet off, and he's the one who knocked the ball down.
That last play.
Yeah, so just kind of watch the hands to the face.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Coach Rivera talking to veteran official Craig Rolstad, a high school principal in the Pacific Northwest. Good of Coach Rivera to argue his side, and then the referee seemed to listen and take it in. Allen wide left to McCoy. Immediately racked up by Action Jackson. 2 yards on the play.
Dante Jackson played off of him. Just a nice drive up on the ball. Makes Allen throw this quick little ball here, but then Dante Jackson just drives, and it's a technique tackle in space. That's what you're looking for from your corner when he's out there on the island by himself.
Line unbalanced to the right. McCoy a shoulder that way, and then over right tackle with flags down from behind the play.
Holding offense, number 67. 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
Quentin Spain, the left guard. Buffalo's O-line a bit shaky. They got the highest paid center in the country, Mitch Morse, a former Kansas City Chief, but he's got an injury history. So it'll be fun to watch the Bills this year and see how they do.
And they're a big, beefy offensive line. They look like they can get after it in the run game.
Maulers.
Yes, big maulers, big bodies.
Ball has to come out quickly. No blockers in the backfield with Allen. Good timing with Beasley. That's been there the entire game. Any conversation about Josh Allen that he's inaccurate? He seems like he's cleaned a lot of that up.
When you have a little guy like that in a slot that options off the defender or can make real quick moves, that helps the quarterback out, make a decision really quick. Especially like Beasley's went to him a couple times already tonight.
That for 14 yards. Beasley has 5 catches early on. You see the score, 3-0 Buffalo. Key situation, a little early fork in the road here. 3rd down and 4. Sweeney to the 4.
You see a fresh pocket, nobody in his face. Sweeney just goes right down the middle of the defense with a nice easy pitch catch. But the front of that offensive line just really opened it up so the quarterback could have a nice view down the middle of the field.
They were off stride after the holding call, and with some snap and rhythm to it, got it all back and more. McCoy. Close. Not quite.
Just a little straight ahead run down. It looked like he got close. Just shy of the goal line.
I thought he got in.
It looked like it.
McCoy thinks the same thing. Tight split, 2nd and goal, 1-yard line. To make it 9-0. McCoy gets in. Furrowed brow. Coach Rivera can't be too happy.
It's a hat on a hat. There's no penetration. The offensive line of the Buffalo Bills played on the defensive side. The defensive guys, you got to have some type of penetration and separating that line of scrimmage.
Hauschka to make it 10-0. .357 to go in the first, and Buffalo has come in and made an early statement. Panthers will get kicked off to when we come back to Bank of America Stadium. Bank of America Stadium, the venue. The building seemed to lean in to eavesdrop on the action at times. Up top of the rim of the stadium. Carolina Panthers getting the fight brought to them so far by Buffalo. No answer yet for Josh Allen. Hauschka boots it, and Artis Payne could not handle it. Back to the sidelines, Caroline Can, our sideline reporter.
Well, for the first time, we're getting a look at the starting offensive line, and this man right here, Matt Paradis, new center, new face, and as this offensive line is having to find their personality without Ryan Khalil, it's this man's job to make sure it happens. We were talking to Coach Rivera, and he said that Paradis is still trying to figure out and make sure that he's going to find his spot and personality on this line this year.
Denver centers are typically athletic, kind of lighter guys, and Paradis fits the mold. Tight splits, strong right. And Artis Payne with a robust run across the 30.
Nice blocking up front. They pull the center. We just talked about Matt Paradis. Nice block to open up that lane for Cameron Artis Payne for that nice run.
7 yards rushing. If this were a regular season game, we'd be saying, I think, Ruck, that this is time now for the Panthers to answer a couple of blows that Buffalo's landed on.
They've taken a couple blows. This would be a nice drive to try to answer.
Handoff sweep with blockers. And Artis Payne has the first down.
Nick, a lot of times what you do is when things aren't going right, you run the ball. You try to establish the run, and that the last 2 plays, that's exactly what this Carolina Panthers offense has done, is run the ball effectively.
11 yards around the corner for Cameron Artis Payne. Busy night last night. Jacksonville bowing to Philadelphia. Scores from around the league brought to you by Geico. Darnold looked good for the Jets against Atlanta. Rodgers did not play for Green Bay. Oakland, an interesting team this year. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Scoreboard brought to you by Geico. Matt Milano, linebacker, stuck his face in there and stopped that Panther rush. Buffalo's second in total D last year. Number 1 against the pass. Cam Newton tonight if you just joined in. Kyle Allen getting the start. Into Buffalo territory to DJ Moore. 8 yards.
Come off a couple of runs and then you put the ball back in the air. Nice clean pocket. Nice out route. Nice ball. And that's what you get. You get positive yards set up off a couple of run plays.
They're staying on schedule this drive with good first down productivity. Reggie Bonifant in, light blue glove on each hand. Two by two receivers. There's a safety out of your screen to the right. The wheel route. Incomplete.
It's a good play call. You got man-to-man to the outside. You got a speedy and Curtis Samuel. He throws it to the back shoulder. Curtis just couldn't come back to it. But if he lays that thing out there, Curtis has the speed to go get it.
Let's go for it on 4th and 2. That's what Coach Rivera says. Any problem with this call?
You know what? I think it's a good call. You're trying to. It's preseason. You're trying to find a spark. You're at the middle of the field. Now's a really good time to go for it and get some momentum going.
Allen looks at Bonifant. It's not there. Drifts right. That's what Kyle Allen can do for you. It's just get on the bicycle if nothing's there downfield.
That's what a mobile quarterback gives you. It gives you options. The play breaks down. He buys himself time by running out of the pocket. Now he has DJ Moore downfield if the guy comes off of him, or he does the safe play by just running for the first down.
Clutch 4th down conversion late first quarter. Only Cam Newton knows how and why he got the hole in that bucket hat. More about that later. We'll get Caroline Can on. Tough sledding in there for Artis Payne. All right, our fashion reporter, Caroline Camp, what do you think, CC?
Yeah, this is an interesting look from Cam Newton, but from what I hear, we should get used to it because the hats that we're so used to seeing on game day and look forward to, this might be the new take on them for this year.
Cam said on All or Nothing, I don't want to be all bougie, but if you look good, you play good, and if you play good, they pay good.
I like the quote.
Take a break here. End of the first quarter, it's Buffalo 10 and Carolina nothing. Back with more Panther football after this word from your local Panthers.
And I thought it really, really helped us in understanding our football team, where our football team was at the time, and where our football team needed to go. And that's what we're getting out of the experience we just had with Buffalo. Is that we see the things that we can get better at, we see the things that we're good at, and that's what we're building on.
The joint practices, there's a lot of energy, and Coach Rivera talked about you get quality snaps, and sometimes those can replace like maybe 20, 30 one-on-one snaps can replace some of the snaps in a preseason game. So it was a really good week against the Buffalo Bills and had some quality snaps.
First look at Jordan Scarlett, but that's Curtis Samuel for the first down. 12 yards. Scarlett was in to block and then leaked out into the route, but Samuel was money.
And he's a guy that has so much speed. You've got to get him in the game. You got to honor the speed. Just Wallace doesn't have enough speed to stay up with that. Nice catch by Curtis.
Samuel's had a monster camp, healthy, tremendous spring, making all the catches, and he's got the straight line speed. One back, Scarlett. Middle screen. Scarlett would have been the option, but Allen didn't like it. So the first quarter stats, Mike, brought to you by Bank of America. Not the prettiest of Panther pictures so far.
Yeah, what's going to stand out to me is 0 for 2 on that third down. This is their drive that they're making some hay on right now, but a little slow start, but they're trying to get some momentum going. On defense, the third down for the Buffalo Bills, they're 3 for 4, so you got to find a way to get your defense going.
This is the 10th play of the Carolina Panther drive. Kyle Allen's gone all the way at quarterback so far. O-line fan back to pass block. Almost a spectacular Torrey Smith grab, but Levi Wallace just got a hand in. Third down.
Kyle Allen knew where he had his one-on-one and throws it up early enough to give Torrey Smith an opportunity to get over the top of him. Almost brings it in, but just can't hang on.
As we told you, Buffalo was very salty last year, particularly in their pass defense. On third down and 10. Bonifant lit up about 4 yards shy of the first down. You could go for it again. What do you think, Coach?
Why not? Why not? It's the preseason.
Riverboat Rucker.
Look, you need to know what plays will work when it comes regular season. And no one's going to worry about this fourth down, 2 weeks from now. So why not go ahead? You need some momentum. You need to get on the board. You could probably kick an easy field goal. So why not go for it?
Exactly. It's not like you'd be giving Gano any work.
Right.
So here we go. Allen under duress. Taken down. Jerry Hughes, you had a feeling they were going to blitz that. Murphy was in there also. So Buffalo takes over after the sack. We'll be back with more Panther football in just a second.
Hungry team trying to grind and scratch our way back and making people respect us more. So all those guys came in and may put that much more respect on our name. But again, it looks good on paper, but we all got to work together and we all got to work together and win.
And that's the type of attitude that you want from your Pro Bowler, and then you add some other guys that are veterans that can play the game too. So this defense really on paper looks really good to really get after the quarterback, which was a big thing that they wanted to do this year.
KK will tell you he won't hesitate. He'll say, I can play and I'm athletic enough. I don't need to be, just don't trademark me or just typecast me as being an interior lineman. He can get upfield and he can be used in coverage in the zone blitz. Swing pass. Singletary, the rookie, to the 32. For more on the Panthers D-line and the potential of this front seven, Caroline Cann on the sideline. CC.
Well, we heard KK Short talking before we came back, and he was talking again on the sideline while the offense was out. They were talking about how they need to clean it up. They're not happy with the 10 points that they've allowed in this game so far. And we do have to remember, Rucker, you mentioned that they look great on paper, but this defensive line, they haven't played meaningful snaps together. So this preseason game is a great opportunity to start tightening up those gaps and making sure they can get the job done.
Both linemen are light, leaning back. Pass set, coming. And on third down, caught Singletary with a flag down. I thought I saw a flag, but none on the field of it. No, there is a flag. Well, maybe not. Wishful thinking on my part. 18 yards and a first down. Matt Barkley, the quarterback. Now, the huge story of the first quarter will be Josh Allen and how sharp he was throwing the football. Barkley, the USC product, fighting for the backup job. Williams. 4-13.
You'll just see the end route. You're going to see a lot of one-on-ones. The defense hasn't been blitzing all over the field, and the coaching staff wants to see one-on-ones and some more vanilla defenses. That means guys got to step up and win their one-on-ones.
Barkley pretty sharp last week against Indianapolis. Bills go slot left, and the pass going that way to Singletary. Thrown down rudely by Jermaine Carter Jr. after a 2-yard gain.
And Mick, one of the things that you're seeing in this game is the running back on the linebackers. That's kind of been the matchup in the first quarter and halfway through this second quarter. They're getting these running backs up the sideline, matched up one-on-one with the linebackers.
Buffalo goes wing eye on second and long. Singletary to the 30. Popped by Obata. 4-yard gain. Corn Elder changed his number from 35 to 29 this year.
This is an area of the field where you would like to see someone come up with the big play. And you just kind of been on your heels a little bit. The Buffalo Bills are kind of dictating what's going on. It's a big third down right here.
See if Eric Washington dials up a blitz. One blitzer up the middle, and it affected the play. They kind of disguised it well also.
They did, and luckily so, because there was a wide open running back that would still be running if it was not for some pressure. And this again, you're going to see the stand-up linebacker right here, a nice little X game in the middle, pressure up the middle, makes him throw it a little quicker than he wants to a wide open running back.
A lot of ways to defend a play like that. You can check the receiver or make the quarterback throw before he is ready. From 48, Hauschka. Pushed it. Hauschka, I'm not saying he's a diva kicker, but he's got one kicking field goal shoe, one kickoff. Back with more after this word from your local Panthers station. Stay tuned. 10-0 Buffalo. No Cam Newton tonight. Kyle Allen has gone all the way so far at quarterback. First and 10 Panthers after the missed Hauschka field goal. That is not a fake hat. That was actually Cam Newton's hair coming up through the hat. Not available in stores. That hat. Scarlett trucking right. Flag down.
Holding. Offense, number 70. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Trey Turner. Pro Bowl guard. That right side of the Panther O-line this year. With Turner at guard, Moten at tackle.
Very athletic. I mean, that's a side that you'd want to run to, just like you saw right there. You know, Jordan Scarlett, this is a guy that has a lot of tangibles, got some quicks to him, and they want to see him in this run game tonight.
Scarlett beside Allen. 8 in the box. Tough to run against this. Allen is wild high. DJ Moore on the in cut. That'll bring up third down. Or check it, 2nd and 19. After the penalty, that was the second first down play. So back to the 29 goes Ron Rivera and the Panthers. Three of 9, 29 yards for Kyle Allen. And as we told you, Buffalo very good last year against the pass. Trying to set the screen up near side. Shaq Lawson pawed it out of the air.
It's a good play call for 2nd and 19. It's just another thing that's just not clicking. Buffalo Bills get that big Paul up. He reads it. Lawson reads the screen right away and gets his hands up. Luckily that wasn't a pick. Maybe it tipped it to himself. He would have had wide open grass.
Somebody's got to make a play to just ignite something for the Panthers. Seems a little lethargic so far.
On both sides, in all three phases right now. So again, you just need someone to make a big play and make something happen.
3 by 2 receivers. Allen bumped. Sidearms it out to the right. We have a penalty marker down at the 20. This is against Carolina. Buffalo would decline in the court.
Holding. Offense, number 72. That penalty's declined. The result of the play is 4th down.
Moten the guilty party.
Well, anytime when you have long distance like that, that defense is going to bring some pressure. Little twist game to the left side with Moten and Turner right there, getting pressure on Allen, making him throw an early ball.
Buffalo will punt it away. The Panthers will to McKenzie. Got hit, spun around, and offered a productive return. Isaiah McKenzie. So Buffalo holding on to a 10-point lead from Bank of America Stadium. Mick Mixon, Mike Rucker upstairs. Caroline Can on the sideline. Panther football brought to you in part by Parks Heating and Cooling. Taking care of their customers since 1973. This game tonight so far has kind of been like a frozen TV dinner. What's been inside hasn't looked quite as good as the picture on the outside of the package.
Yeah, usually one of the phases is working, but right now all three phases are struggling right now.
Sonoris Perry bumped by Norris and fumbled. Still on pilot.
The funny thing down there, there's a lot of stuff going on. A blue jersey could have it, and it could come out with the white jersey. There's a lot of finger pulling and everybody tugging on that ball down there.
Somewhere in the scrum, it's Panther football.
And Mick, that's the break that you kind of need that we've been talking about for a little while. See, just a run play right there, doesn't overrun. Nice hit, ball out right there. Now you get hats around, white jerseys around it. Coaches are always talking about everybody to the ball for this exact reason.
Andre Smith, and that's one thing. If Eric Washington could pick one area he wanted to get better, it's probably in the giveaway takeaway game.
Yeah, and you need to take the ball away. You get momentum, you get your offense the opportunity to put some points on the board.
And Will Greer steps in at quarterback. High backs behind him. Hemingway in motion. Tight end traded from left to right. More flags as Scarlett wrestles for 3.
Holding, offense, number 74. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
There was a hold on this play, but I like this young running back. Watch his feet keep turning and moving. Positive yards after contact. That is what you're looking for in a young running back when you're trying to turn some heads.
Pretty rugged out of Florida. B5 2019. Can also catch coming out of the backfield. On first and long. Greer goes underneath Scarlett. Scarlett, he's not afraid either.
Well, good call, Mick. You said he could catch the ball, and he can show you right there in this play that he can catch it out of the backfield. He's got some nice soft hands. Takes it, gets some positive yards.
And then bring in the contact at the end of the play. Rookie knowing how to use his pads. Now it's intercepted. Greer threw it right into the waiting arms of a defensive back, and Kevin Johnson's going to score. He housed it down the near sideline. 71 yards.
Yeah, when Will sees this, he's going to want this one back when he watches this in film. He looks exactly where he's going, throws it into the coverage, 2 guys over there. That's an easy pitch and catch for the other squad.
Kevin Johnson, the former Wake Forest Demon Deacon.
We'll see again. Looks like he has one-on-one, and they just drop another guy off the inside.
So would that have been a sight read where Smith would have a 2-way go and the quarterback has to see the same thing the receiver does?
They have to be on the same page, because if you're not, that's what happens. You get housed one for the ends, especially when you're throwing it out there and you're watching, you're looking where you're throwing the ball.
A defensive score gives the Bills a 17-0 lead. Panther football continues. First, this word from your local Panthers station. From the second he got here as owner of the Carolina Panthers, David Tepper told the players, you're at a disadvantage and I'm going to fix it. You need to get into the air conditioning, get out of the elements to practice like other teams can do. Thus, the bubble has now been built. This will allow the Carolina Panthers to still get their work in. And Rook, you guys, when you played here, where did y'all go? You went to a hotel to practice, right? When the weather was bad?
It was very tough. If it was raining really hard, we'd do walkthrough up on the concrete, or we'd go to the hotel to do walkthroughs. It was just kind of tough without having a bubble out there. So this is definitely an advantage for the Carolina Panthers to not miss work days with the bubble.
Cafeteria area has also been expanded. So now Will Greer, he throws a pick 6. Football didn't give you very much time to look in your rearview mirror and feel sorry for yourself.
Now, no one's feeling sorry for him. He's got to pick it up and he's got to keep going. He threw a nice pass before that, before he threw the pick. He's got to shake it off and go for this next play.
Timeout. Carolina called it. So we'll keep it right here at Bank of America Stadium. Geico presents scores from around the NFL. 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance. A lot of action last night. Atlanta losing to Sam Darnold and the Jets. Jets will see Buffalo opening day. Baltimore could be good again this year. Cincinnati over Washington. Arizona with the rookie Kyler Murray, can't wait to see him, which the Panthers will in person in September. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Scoreboard brought to you by Geico. It's 21 personnel, 2 backs, 1 tight, 2 wides, and Scarlett for a couple. Deion Lacey tackled him up high. Middle second quarter, Buffalo's hung a 17 spot on the Panthers.
Yeah, if you're the Buffalo Bills, you've operated on both sides of the ball very well. For the Carolina Panthers, this is a drive right here. You just need to, you come off a pick six, you got to find a way just to get the first down. Don't worry about getting in the end zone. Just worry about getting the first down and getting to the next set of downs.
Hogan, the slot receiver, catches it. Close to the first down. Dean Marlowe, the former Panther, popped it. So what can Hogan bring?
He's a veteran. He's a guy that's been around winning programs. He's a guy that can operate that slot in the middle of the field, and he can really teach some of these young receivers a thing or two about route running, and he can do it very well.
3 Super Bowls with New England, a couple of wins. It's Bonifant. First down, Carolina Panthers. Needed 2, got 3. Now don't sleep on Bonifant. A lot of love spread around these other backs. But this is Bonifant's second year in the system, right?
It is. You know, they're looking for Christian McCaffrey. Who's behind him? Who can spell him? Who can come in, give him a break from time to time? We saw Holyfield last week. We know what Alex Armagh brings to the table. Bonifant's one of those guys that has a lot of speed and it can bring a lot to the table.
That was the Panthers' first third down conversion. They have converted a 4th down. Holyfield ducks his shoulders just as contact arrives, 6 yards. So Holyfield in the mix, Bonifant in the mix. Let's go to Caroline Can down on the sideline. CC.
Guys talking about Reggie Bonifant. We actually heard Norv Turner say that he's got the best hands in that running back room behind Christian McCaffrey. So as they're trying to find that backup for this season, Bonifant's making sure he's in that conversation.
I think Bonifant might also be sort of a 2-position guy. I think you could line him up at fullback if need be. He's got the physical stature for that. So there's a 6-yard run, first down, Carolina Panthers.
Now this is Panther football. When you're physical in the running game up front with your offensive lineman, but as a running back, after someone's hanging on you, 2-3 guys, can you carry that pile down the field? And Holyfield said, yes, I can.
That screen pass perhaps should not have been thrown, with Lacey having Holyfield right in his crosshairs. It is so hard. It's hard to play quarterback in the NFL.
It is, and as a rookie, you have a lot to learn. And you know, you throw a pick, you're coming back, you're in this drive, you're moving the sticks. You learn as you go, and there's some of the best ones that have been in this game a long time. And they say, you know what, I'm still learning.
On second down and 15. Almost Vanderline, the intended receiver. Marlowe is tracking it.
He had his guy wide open. He just got right over that corner. Marlowe's hands just a little bit to the outside.
Coming up at halftime, Wesley Walls, member of the Hall of Honor class of 2019, and we'll have a must-watch it feature on him. Wesley Walls wasn't just a good football player. He had that Hollywood kind of stuntman swagger.
And he's an athlete. He's a guy that went both ways in college, and a lot of people don't know that. He used to put his hand in the dirt playing defensive end.
And the Panthers can't convert on 3rd and long. Penalty marker down at the 34.
Roughing the passer. Defense number 90.
Well now.
15-yard penalty automatic. First down.
Shaq Lawson.
And that's a break, and you'll take it. Lawson coming right up the middle, way late, and they're going to call that every day, all day. And that's a break for the Carolina Panthers. They have to take advantage of this.
Lawson played at Clemson. Sean McDermott, former D coordinator under Coach Ron Rivera. Two tight ends, both on the left side. Scarlett in the backfield. On the counter bootleg, Smith is overthrown.
I think you're getting some routes that either the quarterback's not on or the receiver's not on. They got to find a way to both be on the same page. Some of these plays are coming open. You're having some opportunities. You've got to capitalize it.
Coach Rivera's sideline demeanor, unless the officials make an egregious error in his mind, he generally stays pretty calm and positive on the sideline.
Until halftime. And I think this is one where you get after your ball club.
Home run ball. Overthrown. Aldrick Robinson, the intended receiver.
Nick, you talked about this Buffalo defense being stingy in the sack game and in the turnover game. A lot of pressure right here. They're bringing guys. They are blitzing. They're not holding back. And they're creating opportunities for their defense to make plays.
3rd down and 10. Bonifant in the backfield with Greer. On the draw. Bonifant's got the 1st down, but another penalty marker. Panthers are on the back pedal, it looks like.
Holding. Offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay 3rd down.
And there's an injured Bill as well, but that's Coach Ron Rivera. Down on the field, I think that's Cam Lewis, 47. It's just been difficult for the Panthers to really mount any kind of consistent attack so far tonight. Here's a look at the hold, Mike.
Yeah, you see a left guard right there. And there's not a whole lot there, but they call it. You know, there's been, these last 2 series, there's just been a lot of flags, and it's coming on the offensive line of the Carolina Panthers. You just got to continue to move your feet, stay in front of the guy, the basic techniques, because these penalties are just killing your drives.
It's the 3rd holding call on the Panther O-line tonight. Dennis Daly, the rookie guard from out of South Carolina. All right, so Cam Lewis, rookie from Buffalo, the University of Buffalo, now being helped off. Coming up at halftime on the Harrah's Cherokee Casinos halftime report, Caroline Cann will tell us the story of one of the new members of the Hall of Honor, Wesley Walls. The former tight end will take us with him out onto the golf course and into his Charlotte home as well, and he'll talk with you about his excitement on being named to the Hall of Honor. Incomparable tight end Wesley Walls. Any worry, Mike, that Will Greer's confidence can get dented with the herky-jerky offense so far tonight?
No, as a quarterback, you can't. You can't be. You have to come back. You got to find a way to find your groove and find the offense's groove, and you cannot be shaken.
Just got to play your way out of it.
You got to play your way out. You do.
Greer knocked down as he throws, but dumps it to Bonifant, who gets the penalty yardage back and some. Put Bonifant on a short list of Panther bright spots tonight, would you?
He's a guy that you've heard his name quite a few times, and he's had a couple of plays. Still need to see him throughout the preseason, but he's had some positive yardage.
Panthers going to try a field goal. 58 yards. Joey Sly. You know, did kick some this week. He's on the men. So Sly, who's got a huge leg, last week was perfect, including the 55-yarder. This from 58. It's got potential. Just misses. Penalty marker down. Panther bench thinks it's on Buffalo. Had offside or maybe contact to J.J. Jansen, the center, that was illegal.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 56, leverage. That's a 15-yard penalty and a first down.
That'll be a first down. Looks like a Panther player shaken up as well, but here's the engendering of ill will.
And they called leveraging. You see his right arm on the back of the offensive guard. You cannot do that. You cannot use him as leverage to push yourself up into the air to try to block the ball.
Can't tell who that is. A couple of years ago, teams were just getting a running start and just timing it up and hurtling over the snapper. So then snappers tried to counteract that by giving the forearm right to the World Wide Web of whoever was trying to jump over the top. It's just no place for that in pro football. The Rules Committee cleaned it up. That's Brandon Green, promising young offensive lineman. Coaches are very high on him. Played at Texas A&M. He's also an Alliance of American Football player. Did you follow that? It was about 2 months before it folded.
It was here and gone so quick. If you blinked your eye, you missed it.
All right, Jordan Scott. Sooner or later, Buffalo's giving you chances. There's an opportunity the Panthers have to take. Quarterback goes one way, Scarlett coming the other. For a gain of 4.
Scarlett, we talked about him earlier. He's running hard. Nice play to the outside. Good vision. Doesn't overrun the play. Gets some positive yards.
And that takes us to the 2-minute warning. The graphic up top tells you the story. It's been mostly Buffalo tonight here at Bank of America Stadium. This time of year, you're trying to see the unseeable, of course, but Mike Ruckert, doesn't it look like this 2019 draft class is pretty solid?
It seems pretty solid. We've had 2 games. We're in our 2nd game right now, but a lot of these rookies, we have mentioned their names in a positive way, so that's got to be a good start for this rookie class.
Greg Little's gotten a lot of people's attention at training camp with his aptitude and his performance. Greer on 2nd down, shuffles up. And whistles one by Hogan. Caroline Cann's been at training camp too, following the Panthers. How some of those backup O linemen impressed you so far, CC?
Yeah, we talked earlier about that first string of offensive linemen still trying to find their personality. And Ron Rivera said that this second unit right here are very technical. They're worried about that first step, that second step, and what he's hoping to see in this preseason is them start to loosen up a little bit and just play football.
Greer almost threw his second pick of the night. Jaquan Johnson had a beat on it.
You're going to see Greer right here just really telegraphing where he's going with this. I'm very lucky that that did not get intercepted. You see he eyeballed his receiver all the way through the route.
Aldrick Robinson, the intended receiver. So field goal time again. This time from 40. Joey Sly, the Virginia Tech kicker, from out of the Pilardi hole, the Jansen snap. Looks good. And it is good. The Panthers are on the board. At least it is a scratch on the scoreboard.
Yeah, when you're in these kind of games, regardless of the outcome, you do not want to have a goose egg up on that board. So being able to get 3 points on the board, you scratch that off, go into defense, come out, play strong, give into halftime, then try to come back out and readjust your game plan.
Caroline Can on the kinesiology major from Virginia Tech, Joey Sly, CC.
Yeah, he has a really interesting story. He's from a military family with one older brother, and you'll notice before he kicks, he holds up the number 6, and that's because his older brother, AJ, had leukemia and passed away at the age of 20. Now, a conversation that the two of them had while they were both playing football was how Joey wanted to go on and play in the NFL. So him getting out to live out his dream, hold up that number 6, which his brother wore when he was playing football, is really, really meaningful for number 4 here, getting his opportunity to really try out for the NFL. Of course, Graham Gano, the known kicker around here, but there is a history of many kickers coming into the preseason, showing their worth, and then getting picked up by another team in the NFL. Last year that happened, just seeing Harrison Butker go on to Kansas City.
Yeah, we were just in Chicago, and their kicking situation is in a real state of flux as they parted company with Cody Parkey, and they're still looking for a kicker.
And he's had a great opportunity last week and an opportunity tonight to show this league there's 31 other teams out there that could possibly want his work and his ability to be able to kick the ball. So having a good preseason so far, kicking a really strong leg.
Sly's more heavily muscled than Gano, but Gano's got big-time leg, of course, and just a little bit of camp malaise, a little soreness creeping into his kicking leg.
And they want to be cautious about his leg. I mean, the season is long. You don't have backups there, so you want to make sure that he's good to go week 1.
Barkley whips it left, and that's trouble. McKenzie down the sideline for good yardage. 40 yards on the play.
This is just going to be a wide receiver screen. Nice job of letting his offensive tackles get in front of you. He picks up the block and sees the crease. You'll see it again. They're going to pull, get the big fellas out there on the perimeter. Now's where you got to have your white jerseys collapse on the ball as fast as possible.
Yeldon, first down. Signed T.Y. Yeldon to a 2-year contract, and he's fighting to get the coach's attention. 16 yards right in the middle.
Again, you throw the pass and you come back with the run. This is not Panther defense. This is not characteristic of being able to stop the run and get after the quarterback. And right now, this defense is on its heels. Again, we talked about somebody needs to come up with the big play, whether it's in the passing game or in the run game.
One safety deep, Colin Jones. Corn Elder laying a shoulder into Yeldon. Banged him down. Brian Cox was also in there fighting. And a timeout. Buffalo, coached by Sean McDermott, former Panther D coordinator. Last year went 6-10. Rookie QB Josh Allen. They start at New England, at the Jets and then at the Giants. Pretty easy schedule to begin with. They could easily be 5-1 before their bye.
Yeah, and when you have a defense like they did last year, and then you have a rookie quarterback, but now he had a good first quarter here. If you can build on that, they might have something there. It's not like they're playing, New England and Kansas City week 1 and week 2, so they have an opportunity to start fast for their season.
Be fun to follow them when the regular season starts. Barkley pats the football once, goes to Yeldon, and he races out of bounds close to the first down. 10 yards, and he will have the first down. Let's go to Caroline Can on the Panther boundary.
Well, Mike, I want to know your thoughts on this. I'm looking at this Panthers sideline, and there's not much emotion. And I have to think back, this team did just break camp. They got to pack up from Wofford and come home for the first time in about 3 weeks. As a player, you think their mentality is that we just broke camp, kind of got to take an exhale, and are we seeing a little bit of that tonight?
I feel like there's just a little bit of letdown, like like we're tired. We've been a lot of moving parts. But you got to say the Buffalo Bills, even though they haven't broke camp, they went through the same heat. To me, the Buffalo Bills, it was hot. You saw them say it was hot. You heard guys talking about it. This is our element. This is our first home game of the preseason, and just seems like they're flat right now.
Buffalo going no huddle. End zone. Circus catch for the touchdown, Duke Williams. With a flag down, there were players from the Panthers and Buffalo trying to get off the field at the snap. Craig Rolstad, the referee.
12 men on the field. Defense, that penalty declined. The result of the play, it's a touchdown.
Be a 9-yard touchdown toss, Matt Barkley to Duke Williams.
Just nice throw. He comes up, he jumps up. Duke Williams jumps up, grabs the ball at the top. Touchdown for the Buffalo Bills. You'll see it from this different angle right here, just up the side. Just an easy catch right there. Again, if you're out here, you want to compete. And regardless if you're tired or the distractions of breaking camp or if it's hot, you have to compete. This tape goes around the whole NFL, and you cannot put bad tape out there.
Hauschka makes it 24-3 Buffalo. Coach Ron Rivera trying to get his team ready to play this year and also preserve some of his starters.
95% of your guys on a 90-man roster, you may have 3 guys that don't show up in shape, and that's it. Everybody else is ready to go. So now there's that fine line of really seeing, are we getting enough out of our guys in terms of our practices with ourselves or our practices with other teams? If we are, then we're not going to expose the guys to unnecessary injury or risk.
Coach makes a good point. Guys are training year-round. They're coming in shape. They're ready to go. We're back in the old days. Guys had jobs. They had to take 6 weeks of training camp to get back in shape, and so the times have changed. So that allows you to maybe rest some starters because they're in shape versus, 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
In the era before yours, guys would get ready for training camp. Their training would be cut down to 1 pack a day.
Absolutely. I mean, there was a lot of things. They were really going to jobs. When the season started, they put that job on hold and then go play football. Have to get into shape.
Hey, hear the old guys talk about 6 weeks of training camp, 6 preseason games in 2-a-days. Mitkins looking for a little bit of a jolt in the return game. Takes it right up the chute for 28. So at halftime, Caroline Cant will have the Wesley Walls feature. Wesley Walls, one of the great tight ends ever to play in the NFL, and he take us out onto the golf course. His swing is compact, but it looks like it's repetitive. And then he'll talk about how he felt. It's an incredible story, and CC will tell it, but where Wesley Walls was when he got the call from David Tepper, it will definitely tug at your heartstrings. Will Greer. Club down at the 18. Buffalo call a timeout. A loss of 9.
Again, just break down up front. Even though there was illegal contact and they get the flag, still does not negate that you're getting pressure on your quarterback from up front.
14 seconds left, second quarter. Robinson to the 42. Timeout, Panthers.
And the thing that you're seeing right here, Coach Rivera is still treating this like a real game. You're behind, you got a few seconds. You're still trying to play the game, use your timeouts, and work the offense, especially when you got a young quarterback.
Next week, Panthers at New England. And you should see most everybody week 3 of the preseason, right?
That's what you would think. That's what you would like. You know, that's going to usually be the last dress rehearsal for your starters.
Buffalo takes a timeout. 8 seconds left. Buffalo did not have anybody playing deep center field. And you're thinking, will Greer just try to chuck it long and try to hit a home run?
I think it's a little cat and mouse. They kind of wanted to see with 5 seconds or 8 seconds what Carolina would draw up and then call a timeout. Sometimes offense will do the same play. They'll flip it from a different formation or flip it to the other side.
Greer, 81 touchdown passes, 23 interceptions in 2 years winding up his collegiate career. That's a lot of touchdown passes. 2-by-2 receivers. Godwin with 4 seconds. And another timeout. What will Coach Rivera be? What do you think he'll be like at halftime with this team?
Well, I don't think he's going to be happy. You know, again, you talk about, you know, breaking camp, a lot of distractions, like Caroline talked about, a lot of distractions. And this first half says that we didn't handle those distractions very well. You have to go in, you got to get guys motivated, and they got to come out and regroup and show how they play Panther football.
Buffalo will go umbrella defense with 5 back deep, expecting a possible Hail Mary. Instead, White near side, but the clock shows all zeros. But Greg Olson is irate. He's saying there's 1 second left.
Yeah. Coach Rivera says 1 second. And now what do? You give yourself a shot with the strong leg of Sly to see if you can't not kick one through the uprights.
And don't you love Greg Olson?
Oh, he's like a coach that's a player. He knows he's on that clock. Coach Rivera was on there saying, hey, there was 1 second.
So Joey Sly will draw down on a 54-yard field goal with 1 second left in the second quarter. Jansen dries his hands. Good snap. Sounded good. It is good. A little bright spot, a ray of some sunlight here at Bank of America Stadium as the Panthers strike from long range to end the second quarter. Caroline Can with the halftime feature on Wesley Walls, Bank of America stats, highlights, and more with the interval score from Uptown Charlotte. Buffalo 24, Carolina 6.
Panthers football is being brought to you by North Carolina's electric cooperatives, powering and empowering people and communities. And by NFL Ticket Exchange, the only official ticket exchange of the NFL. Get Ticketmaster verified tickets at Ticketmaster.com/Panthers. Carolina Panthers football is being brought to you by Bank of America, official bank of the Carolina Panthers. By Bojangles. It's bow time at Bojangles. Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits is the official tailgating headquarters and iced tea of the Carolina Panthers. And by Coke, official soft drink of the Carolina Panthers.
Mick Mixon, Mike Rucker upstairs. Caroline Can on the sideline. That's Coach Ron Rivera. He's got to be boiling on the inside at the Panthers. Not showing, just not as much energy and execution. Would that be a fair assessment in the first half, Mike?
That's a fair assessment. You know, this drive right here, you got to come out. You just got to muster something up. Get a good drive. Whether you get a field goal, you just got to get on the other side of the 50 and get something positive going. We talked about, you know, just finding some momentum, and it's just flat. So somebody needs to have a big play.
Kyle Allen started the game. No Cam Newton tonight. He was 4 of 11 for 32 yards passing. Greer 8 of 14, 64 yards, but surrendered a pick 6. 71 yards. So it'll be a touchback, and we'll see Will Greer to start the third quarter. What do you think Coach Rivera told him at halftime, and how do you think he told it to him?
Well, I don't know. It's not going to be, I couldn't say probably what he told him. He was not happy, I guarantee that. And nor should any of these guys in the white jerseys be happy with that first half. But the beauty of football is there's a second half. And it's not how you start all the time, but how you finish. So I'm always looking at that first series coming out of halftime, what that looks like.
One back, Scarlett. Trips right. Mitkins the motion man. With a flag down, Vanderlaan could not quite come up with the jump ball. Holding on the Panther O-line's been a common theme tonight. 4 times so far.
Personal foul, chop block, offense, number 74. Penalties half the distance to the goal. Replay first down.
Greg Little, the second-round draft choice.
And penalties will just kill you, especially when you're first and 10. Now you're moving back another 10 yards. It just will kill a drive, especially when you're just trying to find some positive flow. And you see right there a little bit, it's that roll right there that maybe that they're looking at, that they want to, player safety, they want to try to get out of the game.
Did that look like a chop block, though?
It didn't look like a chop block, but I'm wondering if they tried to, him rolling is maybe what they were looking at.
Nice accurate pass, short range to Godwin. Defense closes on him quickly. Godwin showed very well last week. A couple of explosive returns. Have you talked to him, Mike? He just all smiles. Tickle to death to be in the league.
And I tell you what, I would look at guys like him to try to find some action right now. Find a way to get him the ball.
Intended for White on the in cut. Last year, Carolina Panther offense rushed the ball, but kind of middle of the pack elsewhere.
Yeah, and rushing has kind of been the theme around here for the last few years, especially when you have Christian McCaffrey back there that can run the ball very well. And again, I keep talking about trying to find some momentum. Maybe you just need to run the ball because the backs are doing a good job of running.
Like right there, Bonifant offended by Rice. Bonifant got 8 yards on the draw play on third down and forever. So it'll be fourth down. Now I'm trying to run this through as positive a filter as I can. And Bonifant, the field goals from long range by Sly. What else would be on the good side?
I like the coaching staff right before half of not just saying, hey, we're going to go into halftime. They worked the timeouts, they got the special teams up, and they got points on the board. I think that's something that you can really, really look at as being a positive thing that you can take into next week.
Flags down. Ray McLeod squirts out to the 39. 54-yard Pilardi punt, 17 on the return. Preseason football, the coaches trying to figure out what they've got.
Illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 86.
That's hard for the Panthers tonight.
First down.
With no Luke Kuechly, no Cam Newton, McCaffrey, Olsen, and Shaq Thompson.
Yeah, you've got some guys out, but with those guys being out, that's an opportunity for somebody else to make plays.
Just saw the block in the back illegally by Chicago. Great job by our camera crew. So here's what Buffalo was able to do. A productive first half offensively. They moved it. Swing pass underneath the blitz. And a penalty flag down. $11 yards on the play, but hold everything. Panthers blitz Galden on that and just didn't quite get home.
Pass interference. Offense, number 82. Penalties half the distance to goal. Replay first down.
Duke Williams from Auburn.
Mick, this is a good opportunity back in the Bills up to like the 11-yard line for this defense to keep them pinned down here. This game's all about field position. If you keep them pinned down here, you can turn the field over for your offense.
That's what you'd like to see. Just turn it up just a bit. Yeldon gang tackle. And this will shock you, but there's another flag down.
Illegal hands to the face. Defense, number 28. That's a 5-yard penalty out at the end of the run. Automatic first down.
An automatic first down when you had them 1st and 19.
1st and 19, you just talk about trying to keep them pinned down and you kind of let them off the hook.
Yikes.
You see it on the left side right there, Golden 28. He's got his left hand up into the face mask, and that's an easy call for the crew.
Stack Twins left. Yeldon again. Wrestling for 6. It's almost as if, Mike, the Panther D's not been able to take any they've not been able to make this Bills offense one-dimensional at all.
No, the Bills are able to run the ball and throw the ball the way that they want to. And when you look at the Panther defense, what I would want to see is penetration, playing on the other side of the ball.
Slant's been there, the look-in's been there most of the night. Duke Williams for the first down, a gain of 16.
That's why it's hard, though. You want to make a team one-dimensional, and when you don't know if they're running or throwing the ball and they can do it effectively, it puts you on your heels.
Matt Barkley, 7th-year QB from out of Southern Cal. Middle crowded, and Yeldon tripped up. Dalton got in there low. Very active last week, Rashawn Golden. What do you see in his future?
I think he's impressive. I think that, with him moving down and them moving him around, playing a little nickel, trying to see where he fits in this defense. But he's athletic. He's had a couple of plays. He had the one little penalty with the hand up in the face mask. You can correct that, but he's very athletic.
On 2nd down, flags down, multiple flags. And Yeldon run down from behind by Javian Elliott. The officials getting a lot of quality work here in the preseason.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both on the offense. Holding, offense, number 72. That penalty is declined. Holding, offense, number 75. That penalty is accepted. 10 yards. Replay 2nd down.
Holding's a spot foul, so you'd accept the one that came farther back upfield.
Yeah, you'll see this one right here. This was an easy one. Just yanks the defensive end and then tries to play it off. You're not going to get that one. But Mick, when you start seeing a lot of flags, sometimes it comes down to the heat, being tired, not being fundamentally sound, not moving your feet, being lazy with your hands.
3 by 2 receivers. Barkley by himself in the gun.
False start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
I predict that soon there'll be a play where there's not a penalty.
Hopefully it's coming up. You don't see it very often where everybody moves but the center.
It is 2nd and 27. 8 penalties on the Bills tonight. And the Panthers haven't been much better. Up the middle, Murphy for 5 yards. Next week, Panthers at New England. 7:30 kickoff time right here on Panthers television. It's a good place to work a game. A lot of history there. It is. All right, 3rd and 22.
Here's a big stop. Look, screen, draw, or get after the quarterback.
Barkley long and left. No flags on the play.
You're right, Mick, and that's good. I don't know how many flags we just had in that last drive, but that play was flag-free.
That's Ross Cockrell fighting to make the 53 on injured reserve all of last year. Injury at training camp. So Godwin, Terry Godwin. Waiting on this punt. Carter uncorks it. Shortish. And out of bounds. So it'll be Panther football when we come back to Bank of America Stadium in a second. Buffalo's been good. The Panthers trying to kind of get it coagulated here. 24-6 is our middle third quarter score. Will Greer, still the quarterback, soft off a 1 knee in the huddle. Stay tuned for a real treat, an interview on the sideline. But first, run up the middle. Scarlett. And he got 9 yards. All right. Caroline Can with Action Jackson live on the sideline.
We'll have to ask, it was a tough first half. You go into the locker room. What was the message from Coach?
Just keep playing. We got a long game left, a lot of football left to play, and have fun. And just don't get worried about the scoreboard. Just really worry about the opportunity that we all got. And that's really was basically what he was saying. But the message is pretty clear. Just come out here and finish playing.
Well, I know it wasn't the score that anyone wants, but for you out there, how did it feel to get out there again with your teammates and see a different defensive line up there than you've seen?
It felt good. It felt good. We still got some things that we need to loosen up, some small little zone things, but for the most part, it felt good to get out there and get that game feel in and get in this game atmosphere. It's best to do it in front of the best fans in the NFL, so it felt great.
Well, I know you and Curtis Samuel have had a little bit of fun this training camp, going after each other, competing a lot. How does a receiver like that help your game when you get out here on Sundays?
I mean, because you're not going to go against many guys that fast, every Sunday, you know what I'm saying? So get the chance to go against Curtis every day. And, he's going to be going every day, running forth, flying up the field. So you don't get that on Sundays. So really just not take that for granted, having a guy like that on your team, not take that for granted. Just get all the work that you can in, because guys like that make you better.
When you see what Cam Newton and him, the connection that they've been able to build over training camp, a little bit of a nightmare to cover, but that has to make you excited for what they can do when it's not against you guys.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. You see that type tandem, you're happy that you're on the same team and you wear the same colors as those guys. But I'm just happy that we got a bunch of guys on the offensive side who likes to compete, and we're gonna be a great 1-2 punch, with the offense and the defense this year, and I just can't wait.
Well, what do you do in this game when it's not going the way you want it to, but the guys that are in there, try and keep them focused and working on things even though the score isn't what you want?
Yeah, that's the main point, just making sure that guys are out there still, playing within their technique, still playing within their self, because at the end of the day, there's still opportunity out there regardless of what the score says.
Well, before you go, I have to ask, I hear you chirping out there at training camp. I heard Curtis Samuel, Cam Newton. Who are you saying is the best trash talker on this team?
Dante Jackson, 26.
That's what I thought. Back to you guys up in the booth.
Thank you.
The All or Nothing, really well done NFL Films, Amazon Prime inside look. Dante's one of the few who really didn't like it. He didn't think he was portrayed all that well, but he's determined to atone for any indiscretion this year on the field.
Well, when you're out there on an island by yourself sometimes with all that green grass, you got to have some type of attitude and you got to have a spark in yourself. And I just like the way that he carries himself.
Corners like that are hard to find. The rugby-style punt, end over end. Doesn't back up for Pilardi. It's a touchback. Nothing's changed on the scoreboard. Middle third quarter, and we're still 24-6. Back after this word from your local Panther station.
Will!
Get ready.
D. White out of bounds.
Widen your split. Right here. You gotta get out. Hurry up, Will. You gotta get out. Get him out. Yes.
1 second.
That was Coach Greg Olson on the sideline, coming through Coach Ron Rivera's microphone.
You know, the awesome thing was he was whispering like no one else could hear him.
That was pretty good. Second down 12. Buffalo up 18 points. Coach Rivera with 2s and 3s for the most part in now, though Galden is still in. Looking to see some guys separate themselves. On the near side toss, Murphy, he got 5 yards. All right, let's go to Caroline Kent on the sideline with an offensive line guest, CC.
Thank you. I'm here with Trey Turner. You got a chance to go out there for the first time with that offensive unit. I know the score isn't what everyone wants it to be, but how do you feel that you guys were able to do out there?
Just good to get some plays under our belt, really. It's our first time playing in a live game together. So, again, just getting the continuity down and getting Kyle some looks and getting some yards on the field. And, you know, we didn't put up the points that we wanted, but it was good to get in there with the guys.
I know you and I have talked about this dancing that you and the other offensive linemen have to learn to do together, moving kind of simultaneously on that line. How has that come along in training camp and then here tonight?
Still a work in progress, just taking it day by day. I would consider this today a small win and to working in how we do, getting to learn one another and how we step with one another and just continuing and it's a progress, you know what I'm saying? So we just got to continue to learn each other, continue to grow. We got another game coming up next week to continue and build upon it.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Caroline. Corey Bohorquez to punt it away. Godwin tracking. Clean catch. And some magic. .53 on the punt, 7 on the return, and a break. 5:14 to go in the third. It's Buffalo still up by 18.
Brisker, double pass. Mills with the interception. He could go. He's at the 15, 10, 5. Mills has a touchdown. Unbelievable.
That first win had to come somehow, some way. And Sam Mills helped with the exclamation point. His name on the facade, soon to be joined by 4 others in an expanded Hall of Honor class. And his son, Sam Mills III, coaches the Panthers D-line here. Oh, a tsunami. It takes Greer down to the depths. A 9-yard sack.
Will Greer just had nowhere to go with this football. Didn't even have a chance to really get his feet set before Buffalo's Bills defense were on top of him.
Kyle Pecco led the way. You played with Sam Mills, did you not?
I did not. I just came in. Yes, he was coaching. He was coaching, and when you look at Coach Sam Mills, like just his demeanor, you're like, how can this guy play football? Because he was just so quiet and nice.
Great move, Jordan Scarlett broke it to the outside for good yardage.
But obviously, Coach Mills up in the stadium in the Hall of Honor, and obviously we're bringing some other guys this year into it. But Coach Sam Mills was just one of those guys, and when he spoke, you listened to him.
legacy continues with Sam Mills III. Good pass blocking. And a great chance for Mickens. Had he been able to bring that in cleanly, we have a penalty flag and a bill shaken.
Holding. Offense, number 79. That penalty's declined. Result of the play is 4th down.
Third quarter has been mostly an exchange of punts. Seesaw battle. He'll get better from tonight. Will Greer will.
Yes. I mean, you'll go back tomorrow. You'll look at the film. A lot of times you know the plays that you missed. And the coaches will coach you up. You got to get better. That's the NFL. You got to get better.
Velarde punt. Rainbow Archer and a touchback. Josh Thornton hustle downfield. So the score stays the same. Back with more Panther football after this word from your local Panthers station. Playing some rocket music on the PA system here. DJ Vinny at the controls. But today, 50 years ago, we would be in day 2 of Woodstock. Noted musicophile and our stat man, Freddie Kiger, to my left in the broadcast booth. Who would be playing right now, Alfredo? Canned Heat. Going up country on the road again. Still to come would be Sly Stone. Young quarterback from Buffalo, the University of Tyree Jackson. 6'7", 250 pounds. And he trucks right for a good yardage.
He's a big body. You got to know what quarterback's in there. He can run. Do not let his size fool you. He's a big guy that can run down the field.
Huge quarterback. And for 20 yards. So he gets his mouthpiece in and goes to work. Murphy for a yard. No Luke Kuechly in the preseason yet. Maybe next week. But Kuechly's body of work is incredible. Think he's excited about this 3-4 alignment, Mike?
I think so. You know, he's a guy, he's a heart and soul, but now he has some guys up front when you talk about Poe, Kyle Love, that are going to control the middle. They're kind of the tip of the spear, and that's going to allow him to be able to flow sideways to sideways even more and faster.
6-time Pro Bowler Luke Kuechly. Racing up to make the tackle. So here's Kuechly, career tackles. He'll have Thomas Davis run down pretty quickly, I would think.
Yeah, you know, when these two were playing, you know, they were jockeying, you know, per game. They would try to go after each other to lead the team in tackles, but he's a tackling machine. He's sideline to sideline type of guy. He's the guy that when you're picking a defense, you're going to pick him number one.
A lot of what he does, he takes very intelligent angles to the ball, and a lot of what he does in his preparation.
Yeah, when you listen to him or talk to him about watching tape, I mean, he is in there and he's focused, but then it transfers to the field. You'll hear him call out plays. As a defensive lineman, you'll hear him talk to him. Hey, you know, Mario, you know, this play's coming this way, and that helps you as a defense lineman up front.
You hear opponents all the time in the aftermath of the game say, we got up to the line of scrimmage and Kuechly's calling out the play we're getting ready to run. Jackson on the back pedal, and he's taken down. Christian Miller. Oh, we got a flag.
Illegal hands. Hands to the face. Defense, number 47. It's a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Ross Cockrell, 47. So here's Christian Miller. What do you see?
You'll see him just using his hands and his speed coming around the corner. He doesn't give up on the play, and when that quarterback rolls out of that pocket, he runs right into him. He's a guy that has been drafted here. Again, this young defensive end, outside linebacker. They got some speed, and he used it right there coming around the edge.
Son of Corey Miller, 9-year NFL veteran. A lot of years with the Giants. Here's the bomb, 2 defenders back deep, intercepted, picked off by the Panthers, and they can kneel that out in the end zone. He doesn't have to come up with it. Come out with it rather, Lorenzo Doss. And it'll come out to the 20.
That's just really nice awareness of finding the ball in the air. Big ball thrown down like that. You got 2 defenders down there. He finds the ball, and then good awareness of not coming out when he thought he was going to get tackled. You see him find the ball right there, jump to the highest point, sees that he's not going to get out and gets down.
That's momentum and impetus rule. He could have run around for 20 seconds in the end zone looking for a place to bring it out and still could have taken a knee. Let's go to Caroline Cann on the Panthers sideline. CC.
Well, for the DBs on this Panthers team, that interception means that Coach Perry Fuel, he has to put $20 into a bucket that they have in their meeting room. And next week in New England, what they have accumulated over the preseason and in training camp will pay for a dinner for the DBs. So pay up, Perry Fuel, after this, a good $20 into that pot.
Heineke over the middle to Andre Levrone from the University of Virginia, rangy rookie receiver, 19-yard pickup. A running clock, late third quarter. You just tuned in, the halftime score was just what you see, 24-6 Buffalo. Deep drop. Heineke flushed. Scores from around the NFL brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you big on your car insurance. Saw Chicago last week. The Giants getting the better of it there. They play Tampa Bay twice early. The second time in London, the Panthers will. And then tomorrow, Colts host the Browns and New England at Tennessee. Tennessee, Pittsburgh. Some more games over the weekend. Scarlet for 2. That should end the third quarter at Bank of America Stadium. And it will. We go to the 4th in just a second. Preseason game number 2. And it's still Buffalo ahead by 18 points.
Such an explosive player, but what we want to do is we want to limit the opportunities that he's in there when he's not the primary, when he's not the guy that you're really trying to make sure everything gets to or goes through. That's what we've got to do, and that's what we got to be aware of.
McCaffrey has that ability. His physical skills are obvious, but the ability to take a play above the level of the blocking on the play.
Yeah, I mean, he's an all-around guy. He'll do whatever you ask him to do. He'll catch the ball. He'll run the ball inside. He'll go to the outside. He can be a decoy. He can be whatever you want. So when Coach is talking about, limiting his contact, that's where as a coach staff you go to him, you say, look, you're a veteran. We're going to trust that, hey, maybe take that last step running out of bounds instead of taking that extra hit. That's what you're going to have to rely on him so that you can have him for double-digit years.
Cam Newton, I think, probably trusts him to protect him, too. He's good.
He is.
He can hold up in pass pro.
He is.
Picture went on the viral social media thing of McCaffrey's arms. McLeod jolted by Vanderline at the 42-yard punt, 4 on the return. So three-quarter stats brought to you by Bank of America. Take us through it, Michael.
Well, you got some penalties out there. 3rd down, 1 for 10, but there's been a couple turnovers for the defense. They've got a fumble, they got an interception, giving themselves a chance. But again, that 3rd down, we talked about it at halftime. 3rd down either can help you win ball games or can help you lose ball games. You got to be better on 3rd down.
Tyree Jackson. Bends low to get the snap, muffs it. Picked up by the back Murphy, who carries for almost 10 yards. Yikes.
Well, for a half a second, you thought you were going to get a fumble. You see the muff snap right here, and then the running back picks it up and turns it into a 9-yard gain.
Second down and short, early 4th. Buffalo in control. Looks like a first down from up here and on our monitor. Two-yard gain on that. Fresh series of downs for Buffalo from the -30. The undaunted cat with 9 lives. One of the coolest cats around, superb. Three receivers fanned out to the right. And Murphy again. Good, tough, hard, low run by Murphy for 9. Hamilton a bit slow to get up. Coaches will take this film, look at it, study it, run the diags, and get back to work Sunday.
You'll jump right back in. That's what you do as a professional. You're going to go look at the tape. You're going to look at what you did good. You're going to look at what you did, what you need to correct, and that's all part of, you know, being a professional.
Buffalo will probably just hand off 2nd and 1, and they do. Stoned by the Panthers. Loss of 2. That Hamilton that got in there low did a good job. Hamilton and Bijan Jackson both.
You see right there, the right defensive tackle does a nice job of reading the play and making the tackle. And that guard pulls, he got in the hip pocket.
That makes it 3rd and 3. Short set Jackson will have the first down. You expect a 6'7", 250-pound quarterback to be able to do that. Josh Thornton spilled him.
Well, Jackson looks like he's a basketball player. And when you don't have a lot of film, you're not doing a lot of film study, you might not know that this guy is a mobile quarterback, and he will run. He has no problem with running.
He'll have that flap over his wrist guard. That'll have plays on it. You saw it right there, just flapping open a bit. The first down play. Play action fake. And he had a man open. Keith Tobridge, the tight end, and just missed him by a step. Let's go down to the sideline and check in with Caroline Camp.
Well, Mike, you brought up a good point that if people aren't watching film on Jackson, they might not know that he is this mobile quarterback. So that kind of made me wonder, I mean, how much film study are the Panthers and other teams in the preseason actually looking at their opponent? Or is this more an inward look as they get ready for the regular season?
Yeah, it's more of an inward look. You're really watching your film and trying to get better as individuals. Usually the night before you might look at the team. As you get closer to, say, next week with the Patriots, you might start doing a little bit more film study like you would do in regular season. But early on, the first couple weeks, you don't do a lot of opponent looking.
Meanwhile, Cole Lou broke on this nicely.
Yeah, just he plants, he gets a hand on it. That would have been a nice
interception if he could have had both hands on that one.
3rd down and 10 from midfield. It's been a good crowd tonight here at the stadium. Panther fans have hung in there to see all the way through the depth chart. Christian Wade breaking tackles to the 2-yard line. A run of 47 yards.
You're going to see the right defense in, almost get the quarterback. This game is about inches. Misses the sack, they're so close, but you got to be able to tackle in the National Football League. Otherwise, plays like this happen.
It looked like 3 Panthers had a shot, and none was able to make good contact. Injured Panther, a local break. Back with more after a word from your local Panther station. Injured Buffalo Bills lineman being helped onto the car farther upfield, and that's Gary McGinn. Farther upfield, Lorenzo Doss was shaken up for the Panthers. He was able to get up and jog off. That soupy scrum of the play, the Buffalo O-lineman got nicked. Here's our CPI security system red zone offensive stats. Protection you can count on, conveniences that you will love. Buffalo will want to bat a higher percentage than this season with their red zone offense. 59%, you give that about a C+. Tyree Jackson, 1st and goal from the 2. Yeah, movement up front.
False start. Offense. Number 72. 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
Jerron Jones, the infraction.
And that should help the Panthers defense. You know, playing on the 7 versus playing on the 2, that's a big difference.
Obata 94, Hamilton 78, Teo Hema 46. Panthers working into the depth chart defensively. 1st and goal. It's Wade, hit low by Thornton and high by Kunashin.
That's a good tackle by Thornton on the edge, because there's a lot of green grass and he has a 1-on-1, but makes a textbook tackle out there all alone. But down here, Mick, you got to be careful of this mobile quarterback. We've seen that he can use his feet, so you got to keep an eyeball on him.
Good point. Check the defense ruck, see if there's any spy technique or anything like that going on. Wade open left flat. It's incomplete, but he had pressure.
You'll see some pressure coming right at the top of the screen. Makes him kind of throw. Might have got a little tip on there a little bit.
Looked like it. I know you, Ruck. I know. So you clean up pretty well. But you would have loved to have rushed a 6'7" rookie quarterback.
That target zone is expanded. So yes, that would help me out a lot.
Here's a napkin for some of the saliva dripping down as you think about it. Sills, the intended receiver. Incomplete. And it's 4th down. Good stand in here down close for the Panther defense, because it was at the 2-yard line at one point.
It was a good, that's what I was saying earlier, with having that 5-yard penalty really hurt the Buffalo Bills, and they never got it back on track. Good stand by the Panthers defense.
McLaughlin, backup kicker from 23 yards away. Chase McLaughlin, rookie from Illinois. Should be a chip shot for him, and he slips it just inside the left upright. So 9:34 to play, 27-6, Buffalo Bills. Uptown Charlotte, 27-6 Buffalo. Firebird statue. The Top Cats top catting. And we're glad you're with us for preseason football. If you're a Panther fan, wish we had better news for you. But there will be some bright spots, maybe those that have escaped our broadcast once the coaches take a look at what every single player did on every single play. Ross just watches it go over his head. Greg Olsen, young legs, even though he's an NFL elder statesman. And he set an NFL record 2014, 15, and 16 with 1,000 plus yard receiving seasons each of those seasons. What about 17 and 18, Mike? What's held him back?
Yeah, the only thing that's going to really slow him down was injuries, and that foot has kind of given him some problems the last couple of years, and that's why you see the drop off in numbers. But he's having a good camp. He's back. He's healthy, and so when you have a healthy Greg Olsen, you're going to get some positive numbers.
Olsen had a 7-game miss last year and missed 9 games the year before. Coach on the field, son of a coach, eaten up with football, and respected so much throughout the organization, Greg Olsen.
It's almost having another quarterback on the field. He knows where everybody's supposed to be at, but for me, the tight end that can control the middle of the field allows you to use your receivers on the outside, and that's what makes him so valuable, that he can block, but he can catch that ball.
Heineke into the belly of Hemingway, bobbled it, re-caught it, and then paid a price. 20-yard pickup.
Just a nice clean pocket right there. Just kind of hits the ground, but it looks like he might have gotten the air knocked out of him just a little bit right there. But he held on to the ball, and it's a first down.
Head athletic trainer Ryan Vermillion checking on him. Receivers left and right. Heineke the play action fake. Rashad Ross with the toe drag and a first down, Panthers. Let's go to Caroline Cann on the sideline, I think with Super Mario. CC.
I am joined by Super Mario, and you got the chance to go out there for the first time with that defensive line and take some live snaps that weren't in Spartanburg. What was it like tonight?
Felt really good. You know, those guys, including myself, was coming out the ball really fast, and they knew they couldn't block us, so they were kind of getting the ball out really fast. So, you know, it was kind of funny.
I say that makes you feel pretty good that you guys look as good on paper as you do and what you can do out there on the field. What do you think is going to be the most to handle for some offensive lines that you guys are going to face?
Could you repeat?
It is a little loud down here, but what do you think offensive lines that you guys are going to face this year? What's going to be the biggest headache for them with you guys up front?
That every guy can move. You know, if you double team the outsides, you got to worry about the insides. If you double team the inside, you got to worry about the outside. Every guy is special in their own way, and everybody has, you know, produced in this league for many years, so they got a force to be reckoned with.
Well, you said everyone is special, and Gerald McCoy has proven to be special on the field, but also off the field with his big personality. He's brought in food trucks multiple times. There's that smile. What kind of teammate has he become to you guys?
He's a phenomenal teammate. You know, he cares about us just like we care about him. You know, we welcome him with open arms, and he noticed that when he came in, and you know, he loves us deaf, and the things that he do, man, you know, I'm appreciative. You know, I can use an icy here and there, you know, or some food different from, you know, the food that we were getting in camp. So, man, they got blessed us tremendously.
What did you guys learn the most at training camp? It was a long 3 weeks, but what was it that you feel like you guys came out there learning about each other?
You know, how to just work together. You know, when you bring in 2 different guys, you know, me and KK been here since, you know, I've been playing with KK since 2012, and since 2013. And, you know, me and him, we know each other, we built a bond. But to bring in Bruce and to bring in McCoy, you know, we kind of, you know, just feeling our way, trying to see how, you know what I'm saying, how we can, you know, bring them guys in and make them as comfortable as possible and fit everybody in, you know what I'm saying, as one, so we can close this fist. But so far, everything been great. And everybody's working hard, everybody accountable, everybody hold each other accountable, and that's a great thing.
Well, you guys are doing that in practice day in and day out against an offense that has a new offensive line. Cam Newton back to feeling more like himself. What have you seen out of the offense that gets you excited for this season?
We got some weapons on the offense. We got receivers, man, and we got depth. Guys that are coming off, off the bench that can do exactly the same thing that the starters can do. That's pretty unique. And to see Cam Newton happy, smiling, talking crap here and there, that's a good thing. And I'm so happy that, his shoulder's feeling well and that he's just ready to come out and compete. Because when that guy hitting on all cylinders, can't nobody stop him.
Well, you have to give me a rating on his current hat situation tonight. If you had to rate that on a fashion scale, where's Cam Newton's hat tonight?
All right, he got a hat on right now? Did he come with a hat? All right, let me personally. I like Cam hats. Cam hats be dope to me. I don't know what Cam doing with the scarf, man. He like my grandma, man, my auntie, somebody with the scarves on. So, but other than the hat game, he killed the hat game. I like the hat game. I even asked for a hat, and he gonna give me a hat.
That's great. Well, if you haven't seen the scarves, that is on Panthers social. But he also does a good job of handing out nicknames. Super Mario calling you that off the top. How funny is that for rookies to be handed a nickname from Cam Newton?
Cam, he big in the media. He's a good guy all the way around, and he like to have fun. But I like Super Mario, and I actually got the name Super Mario my junior year in high school. I scored 5 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion to win the game. So, the city news city of Birmingham news gave me the name Super Mario, and after that, the whole Birmingham just ran with it. So I've been calling myself Super Mario.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Super Mario. Back to you guys in the booth.
He's a car guy, too. He's got about 10 cars, including a pair of 69 Camaros. Panthers in the red zone. While we were listening to that interview and watching it, Heineke got clocked late, roughing the passer, helped the Panthers march it on downfield. End zone left side, just incomplete. Godwin targeted there. Saran Neal tracking him. It's getting late, Ruck, and the Panthers, don't you know they want to put 7 up this drive?
Yeah, this is a good drive right here. You get into the red zone. Now it's 3rd and 3. This is a down where you want to convert, or you got to get a touchdown. You got to get some points. It's been a long night. You've done a good job of getting down the field. So you're looking to try to do something positive right here.
CPI Red Zone Stats brought to you by CPI. Protection you can count on, conveniences you will love. Lavroni grabbed and twisted down by the waist, but he will have enough for first down yardage and an injured Bill. Ryan Lewis. Hopefully just cramping up.
This is late in the game. It's been hot. It's humid. The kind of way they're kind of grabbing and touching. He might be cramping up in that hamstring area.
.525 to go. We'll see if the Panthers can get it into the end zone. First, this word from your local Panther station. Bills up 21. And the injured Buffalo player, they're still working on getting him stretched out, but that's got cramp written all over it. Ryan Lewis, the affected Bill. Meanwhile, 1st and 10 from the 15 in the red zone. Heineke goes short and middle. Holyfield hit hard at the 9 by Pitts. Gain of 6, a productive play.
One of the things Coach Norv Turner talked about as far as Elijah Holyfield was him catching the ball. And he's had a couple catches here on this drive, and then turning the ball upfield and getting some positive yards, showing this team that he can catch.
Holyfield just off Heineke's right hip. End zone, Ross, touchdown, Carolina. from 9 yards away.
Nice drive, Mick. Way to just little play action and just getting the ball into the air before that safety can come over and close in. Finding Ross at the front of the end zone.
Hear quarterbacks talk all the time about throwing on time.
There was a window. There was a window, and he threw the ball at the right time as that window was closing.
Panthers going to go for 2. To make it 27-14. Oh, that's got to be some kind of a flag, and it is. Denzel Rice and Rashad Ross tangled up in the end zone.
Pass interference. Defense, number 47. Ball placed at 1 yard line.
Under the new rule this year,
two-point try.
the Bills could challenge this.
Correction, 37.
I wouldn't think that they would, but they could. Pass interference, offense and defense, reviewable and challengeable.
There's just a lot of contact all over him. Doesn't even give him a chance.
So that moves it to the 1. Heineke, Bonifant in the backfield. Bonifant right up Mint Street, scores. That was clutch. Trimmed a 21-point lead. Now down to 13.
Offensive line did a nice job of opening up a hole where Bonifant just had to walk in.
Yeah, scoring drive there too. 75 yards, 11 plays. Would you onside kick?
Absolutely. I mean, I would. I mean, it's four minutes, 29 seconds left in the game. It's a preseason game. You get an onside kick on tape. But the way everybody's lining up is like they're going to go deep.
Joey Sly has it teed up.
The other thing, Mick, is that you might want to see your 4-minute defense.
Yep.
And see how they operate in 4 minutes.
I mean, not trying to make it seem like it's all of a sudden Mardi Gras at Bank of America Stadium, but to complete that drive at this time in the game has a feel-good component to it on a tough night for the Panthers. Scores from around the NFL brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Giants and the Bears are in the 4th. Miami and Tampa Bay, same thing. Still a low-scoring affair. Tomorrow, good slate of games. Cleveland and Indy. Pats, the Panthers' next opponent against Tennessee. Kansas City, Pittsburgh. More action around the NFL. Dallas against the Rams. We'll see the Rams opening day. Wade's been hard to get on the ground. Christian Wade trying to get around the corner, but knocked down after a 2-yard gain. Timeout. Panthers. They'll have 2 remaining. Carolina wants to get the ball back and just work on this kind of, you'll face this type of situation sure enough in the regular season.
Absolutely, and it was just like right before half. You kept your timeouts, you used them well, you got some points on the board. And this is, even though it's 4 minutes left on the clock, you're still trying to get them to punt the ball and keep some time and get your offense back out there to give it a shot.
Tyree Jackson drying his hands on his uniform towel. Bubble screen. Almost got out the gate. Victor Bolden Jr. for good yardage. Caroline Kent on the sideline with yet another special guest. CC.
Yeah, I'm joined by DJ Moore, and we did just get some nicknames that Cam Newton has passed out. Well, what is your nickname, DJ?
Sleepy, or my real name, Deniston.
And where did Sleepy come from? I heard a little story behind this.
The story. It's because I'm always half asleep to him in meetings, but I really be up. So to everybody, it look like my eyes is real low, but they be open.
Obviously always paying attention, but it does show, I will say, when you and Curtis go out there and have some fun, I know you're paying attention, and this training camp has been just that for the two of you. What has it been like to get back out there and for the two of you to take that next step in y'all's career?
It's fun, just knowing that we understand the playbook, so we can go out there and play as fast as we want to, and still be able to have fun when we make plays.
Well, Cam Newton being back out there, how's it been to connect back and get that timing back with your quarterback?
Timing is everything in our offense, so with him being back, it's just like it's even better than it was before, so I'm going to just say it like that.
I like that. Well, another year in this offense. How much better do you understand the offense, and do you think as a group you all are operating?
Well, from last year to this year, I say I would be playing faster because I know the offense, but as a group, we all hitting on all cylinders. When we do, it's going to be something scary, and as far as I'm concerned right now, we're looking good.
I love that. Well, you've gone up against the defense for the Panthers for all of training camp, 3 weeks of going up against those guys. What have you seen out of that secondary? You're giving them a little, they had some fun out there with you guys.
Yeah, they have fun. You know, D-Jack always talking trash, so you know you got to be ready for that every day. But his confidence is grown. He always got confidence, so he always going to play like that. And JB is just JB. He always quiet and just be showing his work out on the field.
Well, I know tonight isn't the score that anyone wants of you guys, but how do you guys respond back from this, and what can you learn in a game like this?
Just learn what we need to work on the offensive side and see where we messed up and had the flaws at tonight. So we're just going to go back and come back on Sunday and look at the film.
But was it nice to finally get out there?
Yeah, it was fun. Felt like we was playing fast, so I'm happy.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Back to you guys in the booth.
DJ had an impressive rookie year. Everybody's got their thing, right, Ruck? Everybody's got a thing they really do well. For DJ Moore, wouldn't you say it's just how relentlessly hard he is to bring down after a catch?
Yes, you know, and that's something as a receiver that you want to look for. Once after contact, can he continue to still move the ball down the field? And he's not like the biggest guy when you see him. You're like, oh, he's not, you know, this big, you know, 6'5" guy. But he's able to continue to move after contact.
Last year, McCaffrey led the way with the 107 record setting. And then right behind him, DJ Moore. Moore could return punts. McCaffrey could return punts. They could be used situationally. But I think Carolina's still looking for that answer in the return game.
If you don't have to use one of your starting wide receivers in special teams, that's better. It'd be nice for one of these guys to make the team, maybe the fifth receiver, but he is your punt returner, your kick returner would be ideal.
Corey Carter, the punter. Godwin in position to return it. Panthers would love to get some more points on the board to end the night. High punt. Courageously, Godwin caught it and then got thumped by McLeod.
You want to be a punt returner. Sometimes it's good, and then sometimes the guy's right on top of you. You just got to hang on to the ball, Mick.
I think the technique, he'd get high marks because he was clean on the catch and then was able to turn his body, protect the ball, and brace himself for the hit.
I think he's really done a good job in the return game these last two preseason games.
We're starting field position for the Panthers. Oh, Heineke has the ball taken out of his hands, knocked out of his hands by Darrell Johnson, and then quickly pounced on.
You know, the offensive line works on this almost every day. ball being out, you'll see them at the beginning of practice. They'll work on this drill as offensive linemen jumping on the ball for plays just like this. So even though that was a bad play, that's something that was positive from the offensive lineman of getting that fumble.
Kofi Emichia recovered the fumble. Next Thursday, Carolina Panthers at the New England Patriots. We'll see you right here on Panthers TV with a 7:30 kickoff. What will the goals be next week besides hopefully a win, of course?
Well, you should see the starters a lot more. You know, Mario was talking about it. Some of the veterans were talking about clicking, getting to know each other and playing with each other, and what makes each other click. So I think that's a good game for them to start clicking and getting communication out, kind of getting the cobwebs out. That's your kind of your last dress rehearsal before you probably see the LA Rams.
Heineke misfires on 3rd and long. So we'll have a punt, and then we'll have a 2-minute warning. Pilardi, excellent directional punter. He's got all the shots. The rugby style punt, he can boom it long. Both gunners doubled. Buffalo setting up the return. Takes a Panther bounce, several of them. And McLeod will be content to let it roll to a stop. A 75-yard Michael Pilardi punt. Minute 53 to play. Buffalo hanging on. I'll let you draw your own conclusions, but when you're losing and your field goal kicker is the MVP, not too good. But Joey Sly was good tonight. A made field goal from 54. A made one from 40. And this explosive leg, muscularly built kicker from Virginia Tech is our Keep Pounding player of the game. We honor former linebacker and Hall of Honor member Sam Mills by awarding Joey Sly the Keep Pounding player of the game. Those words, keep pounding, it's not just things that players say, right?
No, it means something. And if you're a rookie or someone that's coming in as a free agent, you understand keep pounding real quickly, that's just not a college slogan. That really means something, and that there's a story behind that.
Meanwhile, Coach Ron Rivera, I think that's Shaq Thompson. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
that's Shaq out of uniform. Talking to Coach Rivera. We had Coach mic'd for sound in the first half. At halftime, he handed us back our microphone and said, "This thing's cramping my language. Here, take it back."
And, you know, the sky's not falling. Obviously, this isn't the way that you wanted to have your team come out and play. But you're going to go back to the lab. You're going to find some good things, and then you're going to move on. And you're going to continue to get better because you want to build your roster for week 1. That's what matters. Guys get out of here healthy. That's a plus.
Not only Joey Sly played well, I thought Reggie Bonifant showed well tonight. Galden was active.
Scarlett, I thought, right. I thought the running back room, I thought that they showed some promise.
So this will be a familiar handshake, a handshake that'll have some warmth behind it because these are two friends. Sean McDermott, the coach of the Bills, and Panther head coach Ron Rivera. Maybe these two teams will meet again. Super Bowl in Miami, something like that. That'd be cool.
That would be good. There's a lot of familiar faces on both sides.
All right, enjoyed it, partner. Good job on the broadcast. For Mike Rucker, for Caroline Can, for the rest of our crew, this is Mick Mixon saying thanks for watching preseason football with the final score, Buffalo 27, Carolina 14, and you watch it all on the Panthers Television Network.
You've been watching an exclusive presentation of the Carolina Panthers and the National Football League.